Hello, everyone. Welcome to this masterclass called Design Your Life on Purpose, brought to you by the Life University. So, what brought you here today? Maybe you received a message or a text from me inviting you to this class. Or maybe you just woke up this morning with a very powerful, determined thought to take charge of your life and figure things out. Or maybe you're at a place in your life where you're ready to take your career and life to a whole new next level. And maybe you discussed it with somebody and they referred you to this class. Whatever and however you landed here, one thing is for sure. This course will completely transform the way you view your life. And that is a guarantee that it's never going to be the same again, provided you are committed to your own personal growth. So what is this course all about? No, this is not a positive thinking course. It is not a stress management course. It is not a course where I'm going to give you some easy tips to success. But this course has the potential to shift your identity from a place that is external, fragile, and uncertain to a place that is internal and more truly yours. It does this by provoking you to challenge some of your deepest belief systems that have defined you as a person. And when you analyze which of those beliefs continue to serve you and which of those you need to let go, and when you actually let go of them, you experience that inner shift in your identity. You experience yourself raising to a higher level of consciousness. And when that happens, it completely changes your view of the world. Everything from your life, the way you view your work, your relationships, and the way you define success transforms completely and for the better. In fact, this is not even a course. This is a 12-week-long journey into personal rediscovery that will not just transform the way you live life, but also propel you onto a trajectory of exponential growth and abundance. And what is more, that the way the course has been designed, the format is extremely learner-friendly. After this masterclass, you have 12 short 20-minute videos, which we call as learning bites. And basically, you watch one video per week. So essentially, you're investing 20 minutes of your time per week for 3 months to get started on designing your life on purpose. So, are you feeling excited and ready? If yes, put your seatbelts on and welcome aboard. My name is Ranjana Balyan and I am a personal growth facilitator and principal consultant at the Life University by Let's Be Genuine, the place to be to create a life filled with meaning and driven by purpose. At the end of the 12-week course, you will be able to rediscover yourself in new ways. You will be able to identify your deepest potential, identify what is it that you are truly capable of, how to unleash that potential and use it to serve your purpose. You will be able to enhance your levels of self-esteem and self-confidence and express yourself authentically in creative ways. And most importantly, you will be able to take charge of your life and resolve the problems and issues that have kept you stuck at work and life for a long time, not allowing you to move forward. This masterclass has 2 sections to it. In this chapter or in this section, we will look at 2 things. Why do you need this course? Because I always believe in starting with the why. So we will first look at why do you need this course and what was my inspiration to create this course. As learners and takers of this course, you need to know the story behind how this amazing course was born. And I'll be very happy to share that with you. In the next chapter or section of the masterclass, I will give you the framework, the systematic step-by-step approach to discovering your purpose and aligning your life to it. So let's get started. Why do you need this course? I had heard of this story about 15 years ago when I was attending a personal development seminar. And this story provoked me to ask myself one of the most important questions that I have ever been asked by anybody. And that question was always my North Star, my inspiration to make decisions that allowed me to align my life to my purpose. And that question continues to remain my inspiration till date. So here's the story. Once upon a time, there was the egg of the eagle that rolled down from the mountain and got mixed with the eggs of some chickens. All the eggs hatched together, and the baby eagle was born in the family of chickens. So after a while, even though the eagle looked different, it started to behave like a chicken. So it started to pick food grains like a chicken, make noises like a chicken, walk like a chicken, and so on. So one day when all the kids were playing, they suddenly noticed this huge big bird flying on top. The baby eagle looks on top and he sees this huge graceful bird flying, and he asks his friends, the chickens, "Hey, what is that?" The chickens look up and tell him, "That is an eagle, and the eagle is the master of the skies. He can fly very, very high." So this baby eagle keeps looking at that big eagle on top for a very long time. And then finally he says, "Hey, I wish I were an eagle too." And guess what his friends told him? His friends tell him that, "Hey, don't be silly. You are just a chicken." The message, my dear friends, is that there is an eagle within each one of us that is waiting to be discovered and unleashed. And the fact that you are all in this course today means that you have heard that voice in you many times before. That voice that says that there is so much more that you can do. But how do you unleash it? That is what this course aims to teach you. And that is why you should take it. So, what inspired me to create this course? This course is a product of my life journey. It is a product of all the tough decisions that I've had to make in life and the big lessons that I've learned, of everything that I've learned with my own personal interactions with some great evolved spiritual teachers and leaders of the world. And all of that put together has helped me live a life driven by purpose for the last 15 years. So I have tried to create a framework, a systematic step-by-step approach for you so that you can just use the framework and adapt it to your life and design your life on purpose. So when I was a child, I was a victim of the culturescape, the culture that I was brought up in. I grew up in a Tamil Brahmin community, that is a community belonging to the south of India, which laid a lot of emphasis on academic achievements and intellectual development. In my society, success was about having a stable job and having a senior position in that job, about having enough money, not just to take care of yourself and your kids, but possibly your grandkids and many generations. And it was also about commanding respect in the society, which was pretty much a function of the other two. So being a very ambitious child, my goals were very naturally aligned to the definitions of success that were given to me by my society. However, I always felt that whenever I had the chance to use my skills and talents to directly impact lives of people, it always made me happier. And whenever I had this little opportunity to do that, I remember feeling so happy and excited as a kid. But anyway, as destiny would have it, I chose to be an engineer, graduated from one of the best engineering schools in Mumbai, and started my career with an MNC as a technical support engineer. It was a great start to a career, and while working in that organization, that's when I came in contact with spirituality. I was introduced to this one particular technique of meditation, the spiritual movement who were teaching this one particular ancient Indian technique of meditation that really allowed you to connect with who you are at a deeper level, connect with a higher power, and through that connection, you were able to awaken your own values and virtues. And as I got more involved in practicing this technique, I actually saw firsthand the amazing impact that this simple technique of meditation was able to have on the lives of so many people around. And that experience completely influenced and mesmerized me. And that's when I decided to make the first difficult decision of my life. I decided to quit my corporate career and dedicate my life to serving humanity through spirituality. Well, I call it a difficult decision because it was difficult for the people around me to accept it. However, my heart knew that I need to give myself a chance. If it doesn't work out, there is always a plan B. But giving that chance was so important for me, and that's what I did. And that's the first lesson I learned in life. If you really want to design your life on purpose and lead a life that is driven by your purpose, it is important to give yourself a chance. So, I spent the next 10 years of my life living like a monk, a renunciate, following the strict principles of monkhood. Of course, I didn't go to the woods, but I lived in an ashram of the spiritual movement, and I was in fact leading corporate programs in that ashram. My area of research and work included designing and developing programs that were a fine blend of Eastern spiritual principles and modern management practices, and I could actually see how much of an impact that was making on the lives of leaders. I designed and developed hundreds of these programs and delivered it to senior level leaders of corporate organizations around India and Asia. And I could see that it was not just impacting their professional lives, but it also immensely impacted their personal lives, improved and enhanced their leadership capabilities, and overall had a huge positive impact on the organization. Besides this, I also got this awesome opportunity to meet some of the most evolved spiritual teachers, and I learned so much from each one of them. Besides spiritual teachers, I also had the opportunity to meet some great leaders of the world, right from Sunita Williams to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to Dr. Natarajan, who was then the head of DRDO, to some very senior politicians, senior religious leaders, corporate leaders, CEOs, and I learned so much from each one of them. So for the first 8.5 years of my monkhood life, I felt that I have arrived, and this was how I was going to live for the rest of my life, because every second of those 8.5 years was filled with motivation, positivity, and enthusiasm. But after 8.5 years, that inner voice, that eagle started to speak again. I started to feel that there was a lot more that I could do to impact the lives of people that I was working with. The prescriptive ways of the organization and my role were actually becoming very limiting, and I started to feel that there is so much more that I could do. And so I went through that inner battle for the next 1.5 years, although I continued to do what I was doing. Initially, I ignored that voice, and I chose to ignore it for obvious reasons because of the social stigma attached to it. You know, typically in the society that I've grown up, everything is supposed to be for life, whether it's marriage, whether it's a job, whether it's a social or a spiritual commitment, it is considered to be for life. And if you decide to move away from that commitment, you are usually considered to be a failure. So that fear of being considered a failure was haunting me, and it was really stopping me from taking action. And that's why I went through that inner battle for the next 1.5 years, trying to suppress that voice which told me that I needed to do a lot more. But finally, after 1.5 years, I decided to listen to that voice and took the second very difficult decision of my life. And I must tell you, it took tremendous amount of courage and conviction in that inner voice to be able to take that decision. I consciously decided to move out of my role, step down the pedestal, and connect with people on a more equal level. You know, when you're a spiritual teacher or a guru, you're usually on a pedestal. To step down from that pedestal and to be able to connect with with people on a level that is more relatable and equal is a big bashing for the ego. And it was very tough. Let me tell you, when I took that decision, the next 2 years, my life was filled with rejection and chaos. Almost 80% of the people in my life who knew me, even the ones who were close to me, that also included some family members, some close friends, they all completely rejected me. But even in that pain, I learned the second most important lesson of my life, that no matter wherever you are in life, you have never arrived enough. There is always so much more that you can do. Your purpose is not fixed. It is ever evolving. So as you grow and evolve, your purpose evolves as well. It is your responsibility to recognize, to be mindful, and realign your path so that it can feed your purpose. And that, my friends, at times requires tremendous courage. And so that's what I did. I moved out and stepped into a chaotic world. So the next 2 years of my life was filled with pain and rejection and chaos. And I was very sure, even amidst all of that, that I had consciously chosen to take this decision so that I can stay true to my purpose. And it took me 5 long years and a series of several experiments and projects to figure out that this is my path. And here I am making this course for you. Well, I haven't arrived yet, and I am still on the journey to discovery, but my heart knows this, that I am on the right path. And it took me 5 long years because I did not have a systematic step-by-step approach on how do I figure out what is my purpose and how do I realign my path. And I'm sure if I had this framework or this approach earlier, it would have taken me much lesser time to do what I needed to do. And that's what inspired me to create this course and put this framework together for you, so that many of you who find yourself in a similar situation where you're feeling stuck, where you feel that you're ready to take your life and career to a whole new next level, or where you feel that you can do so much more, but you're wondering how, then this framework will absolutely help you to figure that out. You can adapt it to your life wherever you are, apply it, and get started on the journey to designing your life on purpose. So in the next chapter of this masterclass, which is also free, I will share with you that framework, the approach that can help you start designing your life on purpose. However, there are a set of habits that are crucial for you to develop if you need to be supported on this journey. And that's what the complete course entails. So these 12 different habits are like 12 pillars that will ensure that you not just get started on this path, but end up designing your life purposefully at the end of 3 months. And that's why I recommend to you, and very highly recommend, that even before you listen to the second chapter of the masterclass, sign up, register for this course, and get started on the journey. The only investment that you really need to make from your end is complete dedication and commitment to your own personal growth. And by signing up and agreeing to come for this masterclass, by showing up here, you have already shown and proved that you have that in you. In terms of time, the investment required would be 20 minutes of your time in 1 week, which I think is fairly reasonable, right? And in terms of money, if you actually look at it as a per day cost, it comes to less than 20 Indian rupees per day, which is actually less than the cost of a cup of tea. So what are you waiting for? Register right now and get started on your amazing journey to discovering and designing your life on purpose. See you on the other side very soon.